Today I'm going to get started on a new project for the shaper. This is going to be some tooling that I'm going to build up for the shaper, and what I want to do is make some bars for internal shaping. And I'm going to use these spare parts that was given to me by one of my viewers named Tim. He had found one of these shapers, same as mine, that was in the scrapyard whenever I was rebuilding mine, and he took the tool head off and sent them to me. And so I decided I'm going to use these because I'm going to make a modification to the clapper to accept a bar. Instead of having a tool holder sticking out of the clapper, I'm going to make bars that will actually attach to the clapper so that there's no tool sticking out of this that's getting in your way of your stroke. So I'm going to clean all this stuff up like I did in my other video when I was cleaning up the tool head, and probably won't show much of that. I'm going to just file it and dress it and clean it up, make it look good. Same thing with this. This has got some burrs on it down here, but this I've already taken the tread plate off the top of it, but this is going to fit in here like so. Alright, and then you have your tapered pin. You get your tapered pin that's going to go through here, and normally this just swings. So that's your clapper. This is your clapper box. What we're going to do is we're going to have a fixed clapper. We don't want it to move. So you'll have your pin up here fixing the top, and then on the bottom of it, this one has already got a set screw drilled and tapped in there, so that's going to work perfect. So we're going to utilize this and tighten it up whenever we use this setup right here. So it'll stay like this all the time. You know, I have to loosen that up and swing it out if I want to take the bar out. Okay, we're going to modify this clapper because it's not like on a standard bore. It's 2 3/16 is what this is. So what I want to do is I'm actually just going to bore this out to 2 1/4, and we're probably going to go ahead and true up this bore on the back side. This will be the counter bore. Right now it's at 2 5/8, and I'm probably going to open that up maybe to 2 3/4. I don't know, I'll decide once I'm cutting it, but I want to make sure that this is cut true with this bore here. Okay, and that's what we're going to do on this guy right here. Now what I have is, this is some drop material that I salvaged a while back. This is some 3.5-inch bar stock. It's chrome plated. This is 1045 steel. So it's a good strong steel. It's not heat treated, it's not hardened or anything like that. But we're going to use this to make our bar, and hopefully this will work pretty good. I'm getting this idea off of Bill Ashcraft at 5 Star Machine. He's the one that made this mod to his steptoe shaper. So I took pictures and I'm going to copy his design. Once I seen that, I'm like, that's it right there. That's exactly what I need to do. So he uses old hydraulic rods for his bars also, and he machines it. So we'll take this piece of stock right here, and it's way bigger than what I need. This is actually 3.5 inches, and I'm just going to turn it down. So we'll chuck this piece of material up, and I'll do all my turning. So we're going to turn this down to, I don't know what diameter, probably let's just say 2 inches, and then we'll have a section back here that's going to be turned and threaded for 2 1/4 12, and then we'll have a shoulder on the back side that will pull up inside this clapper right here. Whatever this bore size is what our flange diameter is going to be. And our first bar that we're going to make, I want to make a 12-inch length bar. Okay, and I'm going to have about 3 inches more on the back side of that that's going to go through this guy right here and have enough area for a thread. So we're going to have to make a nut also. Now I've got some more material that I'll probably use to make a nut that's going to tighten up right here. We're probably going to use some 4-inch rounds, but I didn't pull it up here because it's too heavy. We'll cut us some disc, and we'll actually machine a hex and then machine the bore for the threads. So a lot of different machining involved in this project. I think it's going to be great for the channel, and I think a lot of you guys are going to enjoy watching it. And on this material here, I'll probably, whatever's left over of this piece of stock, I'll probably do the same thing, except make a smaller bar, and it'll be shorter too, but it'll be a smaller, shorter bar that I'll be able to use for, you know, smaller shorter stroke needs for internal shaping. So once I get this modification done, if I need a bar that's going to be longer, all I got to do is just machine one in the lathe, and bam. So this is just going to be a starting point. I don't have any shaping jobs yet, but I want to get something ready so that when a shaping job does come up where I want to do an internal keyway or something like that, I've at least got something ready to roll. All right. So that's where we're at, and we're going to go ahead and get started on it. Alright, we got it cleaned up, dressed all the burrs on the corners, and just generally cleaned it up. So we're going to go ahead and get it set up in the mill and get it indicated. Alright, so we're going to use this indicator setup here. This is one that I had recently bought from my friend Jack. This is the style that I like. It's got this arm that articulates, and this arm articulates right here. So it's a little easier to get it set up and find center. Get it tightened up in the collet. Now see, that's why I like this style of indicator right here, the vertical mount, just because it's straight up and down. That looks like it's centered pretty well to me. Zero out the digital readout above you and go ahead and clamp it down. This is the boring head that I'm going to use, and this takes both a 1/2 inch square tool bit and it'll accept a 3/4 inch boring bar as well. I'm going to do the counter bore, the larger diameter here, with this tool bit here. We'll stick it through the bar like so, and go in there and clean up that counter bore and the bottom seat right there. And then we'll use this 3/4 inch boring bar in the bottom to bore this diameter here. So I'm going to make up a tool bit. I've got one that I found. This one would work right here, but I got a little chip breaker. It'd be better for like steel. So well, what I'm going to do is we're just going to make another tool bit. You guys always like to see that anyway. So I got a fresh 1/4 inch Momax tool bit right here, and we will just grind us a fresh tool bit. Doesn't have to have any fancy grinding to it. It'd be just like a left-handed turning tool, and then we'll cut it off so that it ain't too long and use that to bore it out. Just got it roughed in, so we'll switch over there to the finer grit wheel and just finish it out. Put a little nose radius on it there as well. That's basically it. I stuck the tool bit in the boring bar and just made a little line of where I want the tool bit to end on the back side of the bar. So that's where we'll cut it. Just stick it in the vise here, and we'll use our grinder, the Metabo, and the slicer. Like that. All right, I want to line up my tool bit in line with where this tool bit goes through there. You got a set screw on that side right there for the bar. So I'm going to look at it this way right here and just go down the bar. I'm looking at this tool bit, trying to get the line of this tool bit in line with that square up there. So, just looking for that tool to start rubbing the side. Alright, just heard it right there at the top. Let's see if we can make us a cleanup cut, because taper is not perfectly round and straight. Okay, we got our cleanup cut there, and since I got the DRO set, I'm going to go ahead and just move it out of the way, and then that'll allow me to get in here with my telescope gauge and mic it. Telescope gauge, this is my Starrett single leg telescope gauge. So we want 2 1/4, what we're shooting for. We're at 2 inches, 222 thousandths. I'm sorry, 2 inches. I don't know what I'm thinking. What I'm going to do is just take 10, because I want to double check that this thing is taking what I want it to. This one, the numbers, the biggest lines is 5 thousandths. But there's actually 10 lines in between there, so I'm going to dial. So it's on 20. Now we're going to go to 0, which would be 5, but that's actually 10. It's 5 per side is what it's supposed to be, which would be 10 thousandths total. See if you can see it. We're on 0, so we'll go to 10. So we'll see how that does. I got the machine set at 135 RPM, so that's putting this right at around 79 to 80 surface feet per minute, which is, it's okay. It's a little bit on the high side for cast iron, but if I drop down to 80, it's going to put it slower than I want. So that's a nice speed. That cast iron, or the high-speed steel, works great on cast iron as long as you're not running it up too high to burn it. Hit right what we want. 252. Perfect. So we'll machine our boring bar to fit in there. We'll have a journal that's actually going to fit here, and then our threads will be just on the other side of that. Measure that counter bore. I'm going to use my groove calipers right here. These are the Shards of Ventor inside, and I've got my mic set at 2 3/4 inch. Don't worry, I'm not pinching the mic very hard. It's just barely held in there. And then what I did was come in here like this and zeroed it out. So this is now measuring 2 3/4 inch. So I can go in there, and whatever measurement I take, I'm basically bringing this to 0. All right. I've got my tool bit set into the boring head, and I'm going to come down with it and just touch the existing shoulder with the tool bit, and just making sure the chips are off of it. So right about there. And I'm going to utilize this guy right here. We're going to go ahead and zero that. I don't feel like running this collar up here for the automatic stop. I'm just going to watch it as it gets down there to the 0. There's our bottom right there. All right, we got 99 thousandths. Exactly. Can y'all see the 0? I ain't gonna be able to pull it out of there, but I got it right where I want it. All right. All right, this is done. Well, I only thought I was done. I want to chamfer those edges too, just like I always tell you guys, break all your sharp corners. So I've got the tool floating in there, and I'm just bringing it down. That's why I got the other end of that tool ground square. And we'll just snug it up. And I'm going to lock the spindle right there where it's at. Make sure that, yeah. Actually, I'm going to slow it down for this one here. I'm going to drop it down in the slowest speed, which is 80. I'm just going to raise the knee slightly. Okay. Now, let's do that again. We're going to bring it up to this next one. Let's go ahead and do the same thing. Let's see. I don't know if I'm going to clear that top surface or not. Try it and see. Easy does it. All right, looks like we've got the edge broke. Okay. All right, there we go. Now we still got to deburr the bottom hole, but so I'll just do that by hand.